All right, everyone. How are you doing? Economic Ninja here. We're going to talk about a big short warning, and we're going to get some people on. Sorry, I got a lot of stuff in my car, air compressors and chisels, and holy cow, I'm going to go have some fun with a Harbor Freight air pneumatic chisel. But let's just wait for 1 minute while we get everybody on real quick. I want to talk about a warning about Doge that I really don't think people are paying attention to. Again, I have pulled back and went to pretty hefty cash position. I'm 30% right now in cash from my crypto holdings. I believe something big and bad is actually coming this next month because of all this stuff that's going on in Doge. And I don't think a lot of people understand what's going on with that. So in a few minutes or a few seconds, we're going to start, and you could just put down below the video started at 1 minute. So really quick, an awkward moment of silence. Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you are doing great. You know what is doing great? Doge. Doge is kicking butt and taking names. It is exposing all of the fraud and theft, stealing our hard-earned taxpayer dollars to fund Nancy Pelosi's great-grandchildren's Maserati purchases. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about a story, a warning that comes from a gentleman named Danny Moses. Now, Danny Moses is one of the Big Short crew that recognized the mortgage fraud that was being, that was right out in the open in front of everyone. I was following these guys in real time and selling my homes in 2005, no joke, in a panic, because I could see exactly what they saw was a housing crash coming. Now, it's funny because there's a housing crash already happening right now. As a matter of fact, I was going to do a video tomorrow about a stunning number of existing home sales collapsing 10% in California. And they're just like, well, this is out of blue. No, it's not. This is a normal cycle, but normal is weird because we're at a 50-year cycle, and it's a 100-year cycle. It's a big dip. But he says right here that the market is underestimating Doge's negative impact on the economy, and I couldn't agree more. Type 1 if you agree with that. The people just aren't paying attention to what's being uncovered with Doge. It's almost like a fun little, that's cool. This is what we voted for. Yeah, now everything's gonna be great. You're like, no, I don't think you understand. You see, as this darkness gets uncovered, it rattles the people that are screwed up and evil, right? It rattles them, gets them all fired up. That's why you see people firebombing Tesla places right now. It causes the crazy people to go a little crazier because of their programming, and it's exposing how bad the economy actually is. In the last 4 years, Biden told you there's no recession. I just changed the definition. But I've been telling you for like 3 years, he's printing crap tons of money and putting it places to make it appear. I mean, for heaven's sakes, just paying off people's college loans. Type 2 if you think that is messed up. And I'm going to be honest with you, I do. If you went to college and you signed up and you went and got yourself into debt, then gosh darn it, you should pay for it. You go and become a supervisor of someone like me, and all of a sudden you're getting paid more and you got all these perks and you're telling me what to do, but now you get your college degree paid off? No, that's not how it works. That is totally screwed up. So type 2 if you agree with that. Real quick, I want to say this is the last day for the crazy stupid sale on the Auto Trader Pro course. I was actually doing the numbers. If you take all those lessons, you learn all the tips and tricks that I've done to save crap tons of money. Because my last car, I saved $35,000 on a used car. And you'll save, like, if you listen to all that, you will save, no joke, almost 100 times on your next car, if it's a car over 50,000 bucks, mind you, on your next car, like the price of the course, 100 times the price of the course. So go take a look at it, and then you can use it forever and make tons of money. All right, here we go. Now it says here, investor Danny Moses, who made a killing betting against mortgage-backed debt before the 2008 crash, said Thursday the market is mistakenly failing to discount the negative effect from federal spending cuts spearheaded by the Department of Government Efficiency. He says, I think we're underestimating the impact of the economy of the cuts we're making at the federal government and what that might mean in terms of the knock-on effect into the economy. Moses, venture founder, said on CNBC. You know, it's not just all of the people being laid off that is going to have that ripple effect through the economy. What you have to really think about is, and I believe you're going to see this truth bomb come out of how many dollars are printed over the last few years, and it's going to crash the price of the dollar. You know, the other day, people are asking about, hey, what's going on with the Iraqi dinar? Well, have you Googled? Think about this. Have you Googled the Iraqi dinar? It's all of a sudden had this spike against the dollar. Look on a 1 year chart. It's all bing. And I'm seeing this, I'm feeling this in my gut that around the world, we're going to start to see the dollar fall in value compared to other currencies. I think it's going to cause a panic when, and it's not the retail investors. Retail investors aren't the ones smart enough to figure this out. These are banks, big institutions, people like Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway, Jamie Dimon, that have been selling for years, knowing what's going on behind the scenes with what Doge is now finding out. They know about this. You and I have been talking about this for how many years? 1, 2, 3 years? How many years have you been following this channel? And we've been having a discussion about this. This is really going to implode in the markets. The stock market is already trailing off. You're seeing these headlines: worst week in 3 years, worst month in 10, and it's just trailing off, and you're going, how long is it going to be until all of a sudden the panic shows up in retail and they start to dump? And that's when you have that cascading effect in the stock market, which will affect crypto. See, I don't think people get it. This is why you need a cash position off to the side. Right now, I'm 30%. I may increase that this week. I may sell off most of my Bitcoins. I haven't made a decision to do that yet, but I'm going to be honest with you, I think, and it sounds funny as I'm talking about a dollar crash, right? People go, well, why would you want to hold dollars? Why wouldn't you want to hold Bitcoin? Because you understand, people are so leveraged right now in crypto and in stocks with futures, options, margin accounts. If the dollar tanks by, let's say, 5-10% in, let's say, a matter of a couple months, and this could happen. I'm not saying it's going to, but it could, right? Yeah, type yes or no. Do you agree that this could happen? You could see a dollar drop by 10% in a panic in a month. Just type yes or no. I'm just curious if you think that could happen, because we're talking about King Dollar here, right? Well, if that happens, yeah, sure. Your dollar value fell, but against what? Eggs and milk? What do you think the stock market or the crypto market's going to do? Yeah. How many contracts are all of a sudden going to go to crap if that happens? Long dated contracts in crypto market to stock market. Now, again, there are going to be people that say the ninja says the market's going to crash next month. I ain't saying that. I'm saying I feel like something big from this Doge, all these truths coming out are going to reveal, oh my gosh, it's so much worse than we thought. And I can't wait to watch Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, and those people in prison. Say heck yeah if you agree with that. I mean, this needs to end. These people are straight up criminals. I did a post on X, and it didn't get a ton of umph. I wish it would have, but I said, Mr. President, and I tagged Donald Trump. And I do know that the handful of family members watch the channel. And I said, please push out an executive order for term limits for Congress members so that when they fight it, we will know exactly which congressmen and women fight it. And we will make sure that we, the people, and I put it in all caps because I believe it's very important, we, the people, will vote them out. Right now, the whole country went red, right? We all got to see it. It was really exciting. But it's not just that, or getting a new president, changing the guard in the White House is one thing. We need to change the guard in Congress. So if Trump will push out an executive order for term limits, and then we watch them fight it, we will all of a sudden see, okay, we know who the bad actors are. We know who's on the doles. We need them out now. And we will all vote them out. Vote them out. Get rid of them. They're crooks. And then with term limits, it takes a certain amount of time to convince someone or get the blackmail on someone. It would be a lot harder for George Soros and all these people to do this. This is a big deal. I've learned a lot over the last handful of months because I've told you this before. And it's not me whining because I'm so blessed. God's blessed my business. God's blessed this channel. When this is the cycle where YouTube's just taking subscribers away, right? X is exploding. It's just absolutely exploding. My channel over there. Weird what happens with free speech. I've seen how big it is because I've told you, hey, this is being suppressed. It's a real thing. Once you get into the media, you understand, right? And to go from, 10, 11 million views a month to, get knocked back to 1.5 after I warned everybody. And you see that thing that I warned everyone about happened exactly where, when, and the name of that thing that I warned about happened right before the election. Then it got settled down. Then it popped into another country and it settled down again. I'm like, that thing's coming. Well, ever since then, this channel's been knocked back, right? Well, everything else has flourished. So I'm totally cool with it. But the reason why I say that is because there is a concerted effort to hide the truth from you. We're now just seeing the stuff with JFK and all that stuff coming out. The truth is, you're going to see who the bad actors were. And I want people to understand that as this evil comes out, there's going to be effects on the markets, the stock markets, the crypto markets, and things like that. So I'm not fully out, because if I'm wrong and all of a sudden, President Trump comes out and says, oh yeah, the government's going to buy it now, buy Bitcoin or something like that, we're going to do this or that, it's going to explode higher. But I mean, look at what just happened with XRP. They make the announcement the SEC is going to back off and drop the case. Yeah, it popped. It didn't pop what I expected, to be honest with you. Guys, if you own XRP, type it, and just do me a favor. Type yes or no if you agree. You would have expected it. You type yes if you would have expected it to pop a lot more after 3 years of this suppression, right? So I think it's important to understand where we're at. This is why I taught the Crypto Prepper course, to teach you something about real, true decentralization. We haven't even spoken about that on the channel yet, what that crypto is and why it's so darn important. But I'm telling you, there's a day where it's going to have its heyday. The sad thing is, I wish that so many more people were like me and they bought when things went down, not when things went up. But that's just not the case in retail land. It's just not. For years, people were whining and moaning, oh my gosh, what gold and silver aren't doing anything. I'm like, you kidding me? I'm having the time of my life. I'm out building businesses, taking the money and buying gold and silver. When Bitcoin dips, I'm buying more. Now what I'm looking at is going, I think the dip's going to get worse. Now I could be wrong. I'm wrong all the time, right? You remember 3 years ago when I sold my Theta and I bought some other stuff with it? Does anyone remember that? Type Theta if you guys own Theta. I bought it at like around, I don't know, 5 or 6 cents. I sold it at 95. Everyone mocked me because if I would have known, I would have held on to it. It shot up to 15 bucks and then came crashing down. Do you know how much you could buy Theta for right now? Just Google it. I could buy all mine back plus a ton more, especially because the stuff that I put it into did very well after that. But you're looking at 3 years later and you could buy it back at a huge profit. It's like 87 cents right now. See, this is what we need to think about. There are so many people, even in here, that are like, buy and hold for life, diamond hands. I'm like, do you realize that hedge funds mock you for that kind of stuff? They actually came up with those terms. They mock you for that. You need to get in and get out and ride the cycles. You need to ride the cycle of real estate. You have to be riding multiple cycles. And when one pops off big and fast, you take advantage of it. Just recently, like we've seen. Shoot, look at one of your cryptos today that I told you about. It's popping off huge today. What, 20-25% up one day? Alchemy Pay. There's opportunities to be able to take some profits. There's been opportunities ever since I told you guys started this in December. I hope you guys have been taking profits. Anyway, I hope you got something out of this. This is the last day for that course. If you want it, the Auto Trader Pro course, I really do believe if you're on your next new car or large purchase of a vehicle or a trailer, you'll save 100 times the cost of that course. And that's what I like to do, is make you a ton of money by saving you money. And then you just do it over and over and over again. Links down below. It's the last day for it. It's a stupid sale. All right. With that being said, the Economic Ninja is out.